In the quiet moments before dawn, when shadows stretch long and the world holds its breath, there is an ancient, whispering power that has shaped the destinies of countless lives. It is the force of war, a dark and fiery passion that gods have wielded since the dawn of time. These gods, with their fierce eyes and powerful hands, have held the fates of warriors and empires in their grasp, their stories as raw and compelling as the battle cries that once echoed across the battlefield. In the heart of Greece, Ares, the god of war, thrived on the chaos of combat. His presence was a storm, sweeping over the lands, bringing destruction and fear. In every clash of swords and every roar of battle, his spirit was felt. Yet, he was not the only one. Athena, the goddess of wisdom and strategy, stood as a counterbalance. Where Ares brought raw fury, Athena offered wisdom, guiding warriors with her calm and strategic mind. Her battles were not just for victory but for justice, a reminder that war was not just a clash of arms but a test of righteousness. Traveling from Greece to Rome, the god Mars took Ares' place, yet with a different edge. Mars was more than just a god of war, he was a symbol of agricultural prosperity, showing that war and peace were intertwined in the Roman mind. The fields where soldiers once fought would soon be the fields where crops grew. Mars's essence was a reflection of the Romans' belief in the cyclical nature of life and conflict. Far to the north, where the icy winds howl through ancient forests, Norse mythology reveals gods who thrived in battle's embrace. Tyr, the god of war and justice, was known for his courage and sacrifice. He lost his hand to the monstrous wolf Fenrir, yet he never wavered in his duty. Tyr's story is one of bravery, a stark reminder that true heroism often comes with a heavy price. Odin, the All-Father, watched over the battles with his all-seeing eye, sending his Valkyries to choose the bravest souls for Valhalla. His presence was felt not only in the battlefield but also in the afterlife, where the slain awaited their next battle. In the lands of Egypt, Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess, embodied the fiery wrath of war. Her rage was said to scorch the earth, bringing both plague and healing. To the ancient Egyptians, Sekhmet was both a destroyer and a healer, a reminder that even in the darkest times of conflict, there was hope for restoration and balance. Meanwhile, Horus, with his falcon's gaze, stood as the protector of Egypt. His battles were not only to defend the land, but also to uphold the divine order. Horus's stories are filled with moments of struggle and triumph, his victory over the forces of chaos a beacon of hope and stability. In the vast and diverse lands of India, Kali danced her fierce dance of destruction. Her power was both terrifying and awe-inspiring, a reminder of the fine line between creation and destruction. Kali's role in the cosmic cycle was to clear away the old, making way for the new. Her presence in battle was a raw display of both divine wrath and maternal protection, blending fearsome strength with nurturing care. Across the seas in Japan, Susanoo, the god of storms and chaos, wielded his power with both anger and redemption. His fierce battles were not just acts of violence but also steps toward restoring balance. The story of Susanoo and the serpent Orochi is one of intense struggle, redemption, and the ever-present hope of harmony. In the Americas, Huitzilopochtli, the Aztec god of war, embodied the spirit of relentless struggle. His existence was tied to the very fabric of life, his battles essential to the cosmic order. The Aztecs believed that the sun needed the blood of warriors to rise each day, making Huitzilopochtli not just a deity of war but a vital force in the continuation of life itself. The Celts, with their deep connection to nature and mysticism, worshipped Epona, the goddess of horses and war. She was not just a figure of battle but a protector of the land and its people, her image reflecting the sacred bond between humans and horses in the fury of war. These gods, with their diverse attributes and stories, reflect a profound truth: war is not merely a clash of weapons but a force deeply intertwined with the human experience. Each deity, from the wrathful Ares to the nurturing Kali, carries with them the emotional weight of conflict and peace, reflecting the complexities of human nature and the divine forces that shape our destinies. Through their stories, we glimpse the raw and powerful emotions that drive the eternal dance of war and peace. In the chaotic thunder of battle and the clash of swords, the figure of Ares stands as the embodiment of war's raw and untamed fury. He is not just a god, He is the storm that rages through the heart of conflict, his presence felt in every bloodied battlefield and every anguished cry of combat. Born from the union of Zeus and Hera, Ares is a figure defined by his wildness and power, his origins tracing back to the very heart of divine discord. Ares is often depicted with a fierce and untamed spirit, embodying the brutal and chaotic aspects of war. His armor, always gleaming with the blood of battle, reflects not just his readiness for combat but his deep connection to the violence and chaos that accompany every conflict. His eyes, burning with a relentless fire, mirror the intense and often senseless nature of warfare. Unlike other gods who possess a sense of order or reason, Ares revels in the chaos, finding a perverse kind of joy in the tumult and destruction that comes with war. Major myths paint Ares as a figure of both power and vulnerability, a god who, despite his strength, is not immune to the harsh realities of conflict. One of the most striking stories involves Ares' infamous capture by the giant Elodie. These giants, full of their own arrogance and strength, managed to imprison Ares in a bronze jar, where he remained trapped for over a year. This myth captures a poignant irony. The god of war, who could dominate the battlefield with ease, found himself powerless against the strength of mortal giants. This tale does not just showcase Ares' vulnerabilities, but also emphasizes the chaotic nature of war itself, where even the mightiest can fall. Another powerful myth highlights the complex relationships Ares had with other deities. His love affair with Aphrodite, the goddess of love, is one of the most well-known. Their union was not one of harmony but of passionate, often chaotic intensity. Aphrodite's marriage to Hephaestus, the god of blacksmiths, only adds layers to their relationship, with Hephaestus discovering the affair and crafting a net to ensnare the lovers. The public humiliation of Ares and Aphrodite, trapped together in the net and exposed to the laughter of the other gods, paints a picture of Ares not just as a powerful deity but as a deeply flawed one. This myth shows his vulnerability and the consequences of his actions, revealing a side of Ares that is far removed from his fearsome battle image. The most poignant tales of Ares are not just about his battles but his impact on mortals and other gods. His presence on the battlefield was not merely a display of strength but a force that could tip the scales of conflict. One such tale involves his role in the Trojan War. Ares fought on the side of the Trojans, his intervention often leading to fierce and bloody confrontations. His involvement in this legendary war showcases his role as a catalyst of destruction, a deity who could bring about change through sheer force and chaos. However, his actions also reflect the randomness of war and its toll on all involved, regardless of divine status. Ares' attributes are both awe-inspiring and fearsome. He is often depicted with a helmet, shield, and spear, symbols of his unyielding role in warfare. His presence in myth is not just a sign of his power, but also of the relentless and often destructive nature of war itself. Where other gods might seek to bring order or peace, Ares' essence is entwined with the very fabric of battle, chaos, and strife. Despite his fearsome reputation, Ares was not universally adored. His nature made him a figure of both reverence and fear, his presence on the battlefield a reminder of the violence and unpredictability that war brings. His relationships with other gods and his moments of vulnerability paint a picture of a deity who, while embodying the raw power of conflict, is also subject to the whims and trials of both divine and mortal realms. In the echoes of ancient battlefields and the stories passed down through generations, Ares remains a symbol of the fierce and uncontrollable aspects of war. His legacy is one of raw emotion and unrestrained power, a god whose very existence reflects the brutal and often tragic nature of human conflict. In the quiet stillness before dawn, when the world holds its breath and the first light of day starts to break through, there is a figure whose presence commands both reverence and awe. Athena, the Greek goddess of wisdom and war, stands at the intersection of battle and peace, her influence felt in every strategic decision and every moment of clarity. Her presence is not just a force of war, but a beacon of wisdom, guiding heroes and leaders alike through the fog of conflict. Athena's birth is a story as unique as her role. She sprang from the head of Zeus, fully grown and clad in armor, a symbol of strategic brilliance and strength. Her entrance into the world was a sign of the delicate balance between intellect and power. Unlike Ares, who thrived on the chaos of battle, Athena's approach to war was tempered by her profound wisdom and strategic thinking. She was not just a goddess of combat, but a protector of civilization, embodying the idea that true strength comes from both knowledge and the careful application of power. Her dual nature is reflected in her most famous myths, each one illustrating her role as both a fierce warrior and a wise counselor. The story of the Trojan War, where Athena played a crucial role, is a powerful example of her duality. While Ares reveled in the bloodshed and chaos, Athena's involvement was marked by her strategic mind. She offered guidance to the Greek heroes, her counsel leading them through battles and turning the tide in their favor. The most memorable of her contributions was the idea of the Trojan horse. This clever strategy, devised with Athena's guidance, turned the tide of the war and led to the fall of Troy. It was a testament to her belief that true victory comes not from brute force, but from the application of wisdom and strategy. Athena's role extends beyond the battlefield. She was also a goddess of peace and protection, a guardian of the city and its people. Her symbol, the owl, represented wisdom and foresight, a reminder that the best leaders are those who can see beyond the immediate conflict to the broader picture. In the city of Athens, where she was the patron deity, her influence was felt not only in times of war, but also in times of peace and prosperity. The Parthenon, a temple dedicated to her, stood as a monument to her role in guiding the city through both peaceful and turbulent times. One of the most poignant stories of Athena's wisdom is her role in the story of Medusa. Once a beautiful maiden, Medusa was transformed into a monster by Athena's rival, Poseidon. Though it was Poseidon who committed the act, Athena's role in the story is complex. She turned Medusa into a creature with snakes for hair and a gaze that could turn people to stone, a tragic twist that reflects Athena's ability to combine both justice and sorrow. Medusa's story serves as a powerful reminder of the consequences of divine conflict and the heavy burdens carried by gods who must balance justice with compassion. Another story that highlights Athena's role as both a warrior and a protector is her involvement in the Odyssey. As Odysseus struggled to return home after the fall of Troy, Athena was his constant ally. Her guidance was crucial in helping him navigate the treacherous journey and face the myriad challenges that lay before him. Athena's interventions were not just acts of favor, but demonstrations of her deep understanding of human struggles and her desire to see justice prevail. The symbolism of Athena is rich and layered, reflecting her unique position among the Greek gods. Her armor and helmet represent her readiness for battle, but they also symbolize her preparedness to confront not just physical enemies, but the challenges of leadership and strategy. The olive tree, another of her symbols, represents peace and prosperity, showing her role in nurturing growth and stability. The combination of these symbols paints a picture of a deity who embodies both the fierce spirit of combat and the nurturing presence of wisdom. Athena's influence extends beyond the myths and symbols into the very essence of what it means to lead and protect. She is a figure who stands as a bridge between the tumult of war and the tranquility of peace, her wisdom guiding those who seek to balance these opposing forces. In every story, her presence is a reminder that true power lies not just in the ability to fight, but in the ability to guide, protect, and bring clarity to even the most chaotic situations. Her legacy is a powerful testament to the strength that comes from combining wisdom with courage, and her role as both a warrior and a protector continues to inspire those who seek to navigate the complexities of life. In the heart of Rome, amidst the clash of swords and the roar of battle, Mars stands as a towering figure, embodying the fierce spirit of war. His presence is not just felt in the thunder of combat, but in the very soul of Rome itself, where he symbolizes the strength and resolve of an empire. As the Roman god of war, Mars carries the legacy of Ares, his Greek counterpart, yet his influence and attributes have grown uniquely Roman over time. Mars's transformation from Ares to his Roman incarnation is a story of evolution and adaptation. While Ares was often portrayed as a god who thrived on the chaos and brutality of battle, Mars evolved into a deity who represented not only the ferocity of war, but also the more complex aspects of military duty and honor. Where Ares might have reveled in the violence of war, Mars's role was more entwined with the protection and expansion of Rome, reflecting the values and aspirations of a growing empire. In Rome, Mars was not just a god of conflict, but also a symbol of agricultural prosperity and the guardian of the Roman people. His connection to agriculture and fertility highlights a significant shift from the Greek view of Ares. Mars was seen as a protector of the land, with the belief that the success of Rome's military endeavors was tied to the fertility of the fields and the health of its citizens. This dual role reflected a belief that war was not just about conquest, but also about ensuring the continued prosperity and stability of the Roman state. Mars's characteristics in Roman mythology are marked by a sense of duty and discipline. Unlike Ares, who was often depicted as erratic and impulsive, Mars was portrayed with a sense of purpose and control. He was a god who commanded respect not only through his power, but also through his strategic acumen. Mars was the embodiment of the Roman virtues of courage and steadfastness, qualities that were deeply ingrained in the Roman military ethos. One of the most stirring stories involving Mars is the tale of the founding of Rome. According to legend, Mars had a significant role in the birth of Rome itself. He was the father of Romulus and Remus, the twin brothers who were said to have been raised by a she-wolf and eventually founded the city of Rome. This story is not just a myth, but a powerful symbol of Mars's protective and nurturing aspect, as he was directly connected to the very origins of Rome. His role in this story underscores his importance not only as a god of war, but as a divine figure who had a hand in shaping the destiny of the Roman people. Another compelling aspect of Mars's influence is his connection to the Roman calendar and festivals. The month of March was named after Mars, and it was a time when Romans celebrated his power and sought his favor. The festival of Mars, known as the Feriae Marti, was marked by various ceremonies and sacrifices intended to ensure success in the coming military campaigns and to honor the god who played such a crucial role in Rome's growth and success. These celebrations highlight how integral Mars was to the daily lives and national identity of the Romans. Mars's influence extended beyond the realm of battle and into the very fabric of Roman society. He was revered not just as a deity of war, but as a protector of the Roman state and its values. Temples dedicated to Mars were prominent in Rome, and his worship was closely tied to the concepts of military discipline, bravery, and honor. The reverence for Mars was a reflection of the Roman belief that the success and security of the empire were directly linked to the favor and protection of this powerful god. The evolution of Mars from Ares is a testament to how myths and deities can adapt and change to reflect the values and needs of different cultures. While Ares represented the raw, chaotic side of war, Mars became a symbol of the disciplined and strategic nature of Roman military prowess. His presence in Roman life was a reminder of the intertwined nature of war and peace, strength and prosperity, and the deep connection between the divine and the everyday lives of the people. In every story and every symbol associated with Mars, there is a sense of deep reverence and emotional intensity. His role as the god of war, protector of Rome, and father of its legendary founders makes him a figure of immense significance, embodying both the fierce spirit of battle and the nurturing care necessary for the prosperity of a great empire. In the cold and harsh lands of the Norse cosmos, where frost giants and gods clashed in epic struggles, Tyr stands out as a figure of profound courage and sacrifice. He is not merely a god of war, but also a symbol of justice, his story one of bravery in the face of overwhelming odds. His role in Norse mythology, especially in the dramatic tale of Fenrir, reveals a depth of character and a commitment to the greater good that is both heart-wrenching and inspiring. Tyr's story is intertwined with the tale of Fenrir, a monstrous wolf destined to bring great chaos to the gods of Asgard. From the moment Fenrir was born, his immense size and power struck fear into the hearts of the gods. They knew that one day, this beast would be a force of destruction during Ragnarok, the end of the world. The gods, aware of the looming threat, sought to bind Fenrir to prevent him from wreaking havoc on their realm. The tale begins with a decision that must have weighed heavily on Tyr's heart. To contain Fenrir, the gods needed a chain that was strong enough to hold the beast, but also one that Fenrir would not be able to break. They commissioned a magical chain named Gleipnir, made from the impossible ingredients of a cat's footfall, a woman's beard, and other mystical elements. This chain, light and delicate in appearance, was deceptively strong, but convincing Fenrir to where it was no simple task. The gods, knowing that Fenrir might not willingly agree to be bound, approached him with a challenge. They proposed that if Fenrir could break free from Gleipnir, he would prove his strength and earn their respect. But if he could not, he would be bound and unable to harm the gods. Fenrir, suspicious of the gods' motives, agreed to the challenge under one condition: one of the gods must place a hand in his mouth as a sign of trust. It was a dire and dangerous request, but Tyr, known for his sense of honor and justice, stepped forward to fulfill it. With a heart full of both fear and resolve, Tyr placed his hand in Fenrir's mouth, trusting that the god's promise was true. As the gods bound Fenrir with the chain, the wolf struggled and roared, but Gleipnir held firm. Fenrir's rage was terrifying, his power immense, but the chain did not yield. Realizing he had been deceived, Fenrir bit down with all his might. In that moment, Tyr's hand was caught in the wolf's jaws. The pain was excruciating, but Tyr did not pull away. His sacrifice was a testament to his commitment to justice and the safety of the gods. The gods' plan succeeded, but it came at a great personal cost. Tyr lost his hand, a symbol of his unwavering bravery and the harsh price of keeping the forces of chaos at bay. His sacrifice, though painful, was a crucial act of heroism that highlighted his role as both a warrior and a guardian of justice. The story of Tyr and Fenrir is not just a tale of a god's sacrifice, but a powerful reflection of the struggles between order and chaos, duty and sacrifice. Tyr's actions reveal a god who is willing to face unimaginable pain for the sake of a greater good. His bravery in the face of danger and his unwavering commitment to his principles make him a poignant figure in Norse mythology. In the Norse pantheon, Tyr's role is as much about justice as it is about war. His sacrifice in binding Fenrir underscores the idea that true courage often involves personal loss and enduring hardship for the sake of others. The tale of Tyr and Fenrir resonates deeply, evoking feelings of respect and admiration for a deity who embodies the essence of selfless bravery and the unyielding pursuit of justice. In the shadowed halls of Asgard, where the air crackles with the power of the gods, Odin, the All-Father, stands as a figure of profound strength and wisdom. His presence is not just felt in the thunder of battle, but in the very fabric of Norse mythology, where he embodies the ultimate connection between war and wisdom. As the chief of the Aesir, Odin's influence extends beyond the battlefield into the realm of strategy and fate, making him a deity whose story is as heart-stirring as it is powerful. Odin's role as the god of war is deeply intertwined with his quest for knowledge and understanding. He is not just a god who commands the battlefield, but one who seeks to understand the deeper truths of existence. This quest for wisdom is legendary. Odin sacrificed much in his pursuit of knowledge, including one of his eyes, which he gave up in exchange for a drink from the well of Mimir. This well granted him unparalleled insight into the past, present, and future. His single eye, a symbol of the sacrifice he made for wisdom, reflects his willingness to give everything for the sake of understanding the cosmos and the destiny of gods and men. The Allfather's connection to war is as much about strategy as it is about brute force. Odin is the god who sees beyond the immediate clash of swords to the larger patterns and outcomes of battle. He is known for his ability to foresee the fate of warriors and nations, a skill that makes him a revered and feared figure among both gods and mortals. His insights into the nature of conflict and victory are not just tactical but also deeply philosophical, reflecting his understanding that war is as much about the mind as it is about the sword. The Valkyries, the fierce warrior maidens who serve Odin, are a testament to his unique approach to war. These celestial beings, led by Odin, descend to battlefields to choose the bravest of fallen warriors. These chosen ones are taken to Valhalla, Odin's great hall, where they prepare for the final battle of Ragnarok. The Valkyries are not just warriors, but symbols of Odin's divine judgment and his role in determining the fate of those who fight valiantly. Their presence on the battlefield is both a blessing and a mark of Odin's favor, as they carry the souls of heroes to a place where they will be honored and prepared for the ultimate fight. Odin's relationship with the Valkyries is steeped in a profound sense of duty and respect for the valor of warriors. Each Valkyrie, with her own unique characteristics and roles, embodies the divine recognition of bravery and sacrifice. Odin's command over them highlights his understanding of the complex nature of war. It is not merely about conflict, but about honoring those who fight with honor and courage. His ability to select the greatest warriors from the chaos of battle and offer them a place in Valhalla reflects his deep respect for the art of war and the spirit of those who engage in it. One of the most poignant aspects of Odin's role is his preparation for Ragnarok, the prophesied end of the world. Odin's foresight allows him to see the coming destruction and the role that he and his warriors will play in it. This knowledge does not deter him, but drives him to prepare for the inevitable with unwavering determination. His leadership and strategic planning in the face of certain doom underscore his commitment to his people and his unshakable resolve to face the end with honor and courage. In every story of Odin, there is a sense of profound sacrifice and an understanding of the deeper meanings behind war and wisdom. His quest for knowledge, his relationship with the Valkyries, and his preparation for Ragnarok all speak to a deity who is as much about understanding and guiding as he is about commanding and fighting. Odin's influence is felt in the very core of Norse mythology, where his presence is a reminder of the complex interplay between fate, courage, and the pursuit of wisdom. His legacy is a powerful testament to the depth of his character and the impact of his role as the All-Father and God of War. When the sky darkens and thunder rolls across the heavens, it is Thor who commands the storm, his mighty hammer Mjolnir crackling with the power of the gods. Thor, the Norse god of thunder, stands as a symbol of strength and protection, his role in battles marked by a blend of raw power and unwavering bravery. His presence is not just felt in the thunderous clashes of combat, but in the heart of every warrior who looks to him as a guardian in times of peril. Thor's connection to war is deeply rooted in his role as a protector of the gods and humanity. His hammer, Mjolnir, is not just a weapon but a divine instrument of justice and defense. Forged by dwarven craftsmen, Mjolnir is said to be so powerful that Thor can summon lightning with a single swing and vanquish his enemies with its immense force. Yet, it is not just its strength that makes Mjolnir so revered, it is also its symbolic power to defend the realm of the gods from the chaotic forces of the giants and other threats. In the myths, Thor's battles are legendary. One of the most stirring tales is his clash with the Midgard serpent, Jormungandr. This enormous serpent encircles the world, a constant threat to both gods and humans. In a dramatic confrontation that shakes the very earth, Thor faces Jormungandr in a fight that embodies his role as a protector. With Mjolnir raised high, Thor engages in a battle that is as much about the defense of all creation as it is about personal glory. The storm rages around them, each thunderclap a reminder of Thor's relentless courage and his commitment to safeguarding the world from destruction. Another powerful myth showcases Thor's courage in the face of overwhelming odds. When the gods are threatened by the frost giant Thrym, who steals Mjolnir and demands the goddess Freya as his bride in exchange for its return, Thor's determination is put to the ultimate test. Disguised as Freya, Thor infiltrates the giant's stronghold, reclaiming his hammer in a climactic battle that highlights his bravery and his unyielding resolve to protect his people. The tale is not just about physical strength, but about the lengths Thor is willing to go to defend those he loves. Thor's role as a protector is also evident in his daily life and interactions with other gods. His relentless battle against the giants, who represent the forces of chaos and destruction, is a testament to his dedication. These giants are ever-present threats to the order and safety of the gods, and Thor's constant vigilance and fierce combat ensure that the balance of the cosmos is maintained. His battles are not just personal victories, but crucial struggles that protect the very fabric of the world. In addition to his role in combat, Thor's protection extends to the people of Midgard, the world of humans. His presence is felt in the rituals and prayers of those who seek his favor for protection against the dangers of the world. Thor's role as a protector is deeply ingrained in Norse culture, where he is seen as a guardian who watches over both gods and mortals, ensuring that the forces of chaos do not prevail. The myths of Thor are not just tales of thunder and battle, They are stories of a god whose strength and courage resonate deeply with those who seek protection and justice. His hammer, Mjolnir, is a symbol of his power and his commitment to safeguarding the realms from harm. Thor's battles against giants and serpents, his daring feats, and his unwavering resolve all paint a picture of a deity who embodies the essence of heroism and protection. His story is one of raw power tempered by a deep sense of duty, a reminder of the strength that comes from standing up against the forces of chaos and defending the world with all that one has. In the ancient land of Egypt, where the Nile's waters bring life to the desert and the sun's rays stretch long and warm, Sekhmet stands as a figure of immense power and complexity. Her name alone evokes awe and reverence, a goddess whose fierce nature embodies both the destructive force of war and the restorative power of healing. To understand Sekhmet is to glimpse the duality of existence, where devastation and renewal dance in a delicate balance. Sekhmet's image is striking, a lioness-headed deity, her gaze both intimidating and commanding. The fierce lioness is a symbol of her power in battle. In the heat of conflict, she is the embodiment of rage and strength, a warrior goddess who brings about swift and decisive victories. Her roars are said to shake the heavens, and her wrath can turn the tide of any battle. The ancient Egyptians revered her not just for her ability to crush their enemies, but for the protection she offered in times of war. Yet, Sekhmet's power is not limited to destruction alone. Her story reveals a deeper dimension to her nature, one that intertwines with her role as a goddess of healing. This duality is vividly illustrated in the myth of the destruction of mankind. According to legend, after a fierce battle against humanity, Sekhmet's rage threatened to obliterate all life on Earth. The gods, fearing the total annihilation of their creations, devised a clever plan. They dyed beer red to resemble blood and tricked Sekhmet into drinking it. Drunk and lulled by the illusion, Sekhmet's bloodthirsty fury was quenched, and she fell into a peaceful slumber. This act not only highlights her capacity for uncontrollable rage, but also her vulnerability to change, a shift from destruction to a state of calm. When Sekhmet awoke, her nature had transformed. She became known as the goddess of healing, showing that even the most formidable forces could be harnessed for good. In this role, she brought health and wholeness to those who sought her aid. Her healing powers were revered as much as her combat skills, illustrating the profound belief that destruction and restoration are two sides of the same coin. Her ability to heal is a reminder that even after the most devastating battles, there is always a chance for renewal and recovery. The balance Sekhmet represents between destruction and healing is not just a mythological concept, but a deep philosophical idea. In Egyptian culture, it was believed that the same forces that could bring ruin could also bring restoration. Sekhmet's fierce protection and her capacity for healing embody this belief perfectly. Her presence ensured that no matter how dire the circumstances, there was always hope for recovery and peace. In temples dedicated to Sekhmet, rituals would often involve both invoking her strength in battle and her gentle touch in healing. Priests and worshippers would seek her favor to protect them in times of war and also to cure their ailments. The goddess's dual nature provided a complete circle of divine intervention, offering both protection from harm and restoration when needed. Sekhmet's role in Egyptian mythology serves as a powerful reminder of the complexities of life. Her story captures the essence of how the forces of creation and destruction are intricately connected. Through her fierce battles and compassionate healing, Sekhmet embodies the idea that even in the most tumultuous of times, there is always room for hope and healing. Her legacy continues to inspire and remind us of the profound balance between the energies that shape our world, resonating with anyone who has faced the dual forces of hardship and recovery. In the heart of ancient Egypt, where the golden sands stretch endlessly beneath a sky of timeless blue, Horus soars as a divine protector and avenger. His story is one of fierce loyalty and relentless courage, embodying the very essence of kingship and valor. Horus, with the head of a falcon and the power of a god, stands as a beacon of hope and strength, safeguarding his people and avenging the loss of his father, Osiris. Horus's tale begins in a world scarred by betrayal and loss. His father, Osiris, the beloved god of the underworld, was brutally murdered by his own brother, Set. Set's reign of terror left Egypt in chaos, and the divine balance was shattered. As a child, Horus was thrust into this world of turmoil, his destiny already marked by the heavy burden of avenging his father's death and restoring order to the land. Growing up in the care of his mother, Isis, Horus was imbued with a sense of justice and a fierce determination to reclaim his rightful place. The gods themselves watched over him, knowing that his journey would be fraught with challenges. As he matured, Horus became a symbol of resilience and strength, his falcon's eyes sharp and unyielding, reflecting the boundless spirit with which he would face his enemies. One of the most poignant chapters in Horus's story is his battle against Set. This struggle was not just a fight for power but a clash between order and chaos. Horus, with his divine lineage and unwavering resolve, fought tirelessly to avenge his father and restore balance to Egypt. The battles were fierce, filled with thunderous clashes and the roar of divine fury. Each confrontation was a test of Horus's strength and determination, and each victory brought him one step closer to reclaiming his father's throne. The imagery of Horus in battle is both awe-inspiring and deeply emotional. His falcon wings spread wide, slicing through the air with grace and power, symbolizing his divine authority and the righteousness of his cause. His struggles were not only physical but also spiritual, embodying the pain of loss and the hope of redemption. Every wound and every victory was a testament to his dedication to his father and his people. In the end, Horus's triumph was not just a personal victory but a restoration of cosmic order. His defeat of Set and his ascension to the throne marked the beginning of a new era for Egypt. As the god of kingship and war, Horus became the protector of the land, ensuring that the chaos of Set would never again threaten the harmony of the divine and mortal realms. His reign was characterized by justice and strength, reflecting the values he fought so hard to restore. Horus's legacy as a protector and avenger is deeply embedded in Egyptian culture. He is depicted as a mighty warrior with the head of a falcon, soaring above the land he guards. His image adorns temples and monuments, a constant reminder of his role in defending Egypt and upholding the principles of justice and order. His story resonates through the ages, a powerful symbol of resilience and the enduring strength of the divine spirit. The tale of Horus is more than just a myth, it is a story of profound emotional depth and divine purpose. It speaks to the enduring power of loyalty and the unbreakable bond between father and son. Horus's journey from the pain of loss to the triumph of justice is a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the divine will that guides and protects. His legacy continues to inspire, reminding us of the power of courage and the hope that even in the darkest times, there is always a chance for redemption and renewal. In the heart of Hindu mythology, where gods and goddesses embody the complexities of life, Kali emerges as a powerful and fearsome figure. Her presence is both awe-inspiring and unsettling, as she stands as the goddess of destruction and war. Kali's story is a vivid tapestry of intense emotions, where the line between fear and reverence blurs, revealing a goddess who embodies the raw force of cosmic balance. Kali is often depicted with a fierce countenance, her skin dark as night and her long, wild hair flowing like a river of chaos. Her numerous arms hold various weapons and symbols of power, each representing her control over different aspects of existence. Her tongue hangs out, dripping with the essence of her divine wrath, while her eyes blaze with the intensity of a storm. In this striking imagery, Kali's fearsome appearance is not merely for show, it signifies her role as a force that clears the old to make way for the new. At the heart of Kali's power is her role in maintaining cosmic balance. The universe is in constant flux, with creation and destruction dancing in a never-ending cycle. Kali, with her fierce nature, is an essential force in this balance. Her destruction is not chaotic but purposeful, aimed at clearing away the forces of evil and ignorance that threaten to disrupt the harmony of the cosmos. This destruction is a necessary step in the cycle of life, ensuring that growth and renewal can follow. One of the most powerful stories of Kali's role in cosmic balance is her battle with the demon Raktabija. In this epic tale, Raktabija, a demon with the ability to multiply every time a drop of his blood touched the ground, wreaked havoc across the world. No matter how many times he was struck, he seemed to grow stronger. It was Kali who stepped in to confront this relentless menace. Her fierce battle with Raktabija is a testament to her immense power and determination. With each drop of blood that fell, Kali consumed it before it could touch the ground, halting Raktabija's regeneration and ultimately leading to his defeat. In this story, Kali's fearsome nature is a critical force for good. Her wrath, while terrifying, is a force that protects the universe from chaos and ensures that justice prevails. Kali's destruction is not driven by malice but by the need to restore order and remove the dark forces that threaten to consume the world. Her actions remind us that sometimes, the most profound change comes through the most intense upheaval. Despite her fearsome aspects, Kali also embodies a deep sense of compassion and maternal care. She is often depicted dancing wildly in the battlefield, her fierce energy channeling the power needed to protect her devotees. Her role extends beyond mere destruction. She nurtures the process of transformation and renewal. Her embrace is both powerful and tender, as she clears away the old to make space for new beginnings. In this way, Kali's destructive power is inseparable from her role as a mother and protector. In temples dedicated to Kali, her devotees often seek her blessings for both protection and transformation. Her presence is a reminder that while the process of change can be daunting and overwhelming, it is an essential part of life's journey. Kali's fierce energy serves as a catalyst for personal and cosmic renewal, guiding her followers through times of change and helping them navigate the tumultuous waters of life. Kali's story is a testament to the power of destruction as a force for good. Her fierce appearance and formidable nature are not just symbols of fear but of the intense, transformative power that she wields. Through her battles and her role in maintaining cosmic balance, Kali embodies the essence of divine strength and the necessity of destruction in the cycle of life. Her legacy continues to inspire and evoke deep emotions, reminding us that even in the face of the most terrifying forces, there is always a path to renewal and balance. In the vast tapestry of Hindu mythology, where gods and goddesses embody the profound truths of existence, Shiva stands as a towering figure of transformation and renewal. Often depicted with a serene, yet intense gaze, and a third eye that sees beyond the veil of ordinary reality, Shiva's role as the god of destruction is not merely about ending but about beginning anew. His presence is both awe-inspiring and deeply emotional, reflecting the intricate dance between destruction and renewal that defines the universe. Shiva, with his matted hair and ash-smeared body, is a figure of paradoxes. His appearance may seem fearsome, his throat blue from consuming poison, his form adorned with serpents, but beneath this exterior lies a profound truth: destruction is a necessary step in the cycle of creation. Shiva's dance, known as the Tandava, embodies this dynamic interplay between the end and the beginning. It is a cosmic dance of life, where his movements represent the rhythm of the universe, alternating between creation and dissolution. One of the most poignant aspects of Shiva's role in destruction is how it serves as a catalyst for transformation. His destructive power is not arbitrary but purposeful, aimed at clearing away the old to make way for the new. This destruction is a form of divine intervention, necessary for the growth and renewal of the cosmos. Shiva's power to destroy is intertwined with his ability to create and regenerate, highlighting the cyclical nature of existence. In one of the most dramatic tales, Shiva's destructive force is showcased during his battle with the demon Tripura. Tripura, a demon who had built 3 impregnable fortresses and threatened the cosmic order, became a symbol of the forces that resisted change. Shiva, in his fierce aspect, took aim at these fortresses, using his bow to release a single arrow that pierced through the 3 worlds. This act of destruction was not just a display of power but a necessary step to restore balance and protect the universe from chaos. Shiva's role in warfare and battle is equally profound. In the myth of the destruction of the demon Andhaka, Shiva's strength is a beacon of hope. Andhaka, a demon who had gained immense power and terrorized the gods, was no match for Shiva's divine might. The battle was intense, with Shiva's power shaking the heavens and the earth. Yet, through this fierce combat, Shiva's ultimate goal was to preserve cosmic order and protect the universe from evil. His strength in warfare is a manifestation of his commitment to maintaining balance and justice. Yet, Shiva's destruction is not limited to battles and divine conflicts. His role as a force of renewal extends to his interactions with his devotees. His devotees often seek his blessings for personal transformation, understanding that the end of one phase in their lives is a chance for a new beginning. Shiva's presence in their lives offers a sense of reassurance, a reminder that even when faced with immense change and upheaval, there is always the potential for renewal and growth. Shiva's dual nature is reflected in his marriage to Parvati and his role as a loving husband and father. While he embodies the force of destruction, he also represents the nurturing aspect of creation. This balance is crucial in understanding Shiva's complex role in the cosmic order. His ability to destroy and transform is not in conflict with his role as a protector and provider. Rather, it is through his destructive power that he ensures the space for new life and new beginnings. In temples dedicated to Shiva, the atmosphere is one of reverence and awe. Devotees offer prayers and perform rituals to seek his blessings for overcoming obstacles and embarking on new ventures. Shiva's presence is a powerful reminder of the divine strength that supports the cycle of life and the promise of transformation. His role as the god of destruction and transformation is a profound reflection of the natural order, where every end is a prelude to a new beginning. Shiva's story is a testament to the emotional depth of divine power. His role in destruction is not a mere act of ending, but a profound process of renewal. Through his fierce battles and transformative presence, Shiva embodies the essence of cosmic change and the promise of new beginnings. His legacy continues to inspire and evoke deep emotions, reminding us that within every ending lies the potential for a new start, and that even in the face of destruction, there is always the possibility for renewal and growth. When thunder roars across the sky and storms rage with unbridled fury, it feels as if the heavens themselves are unleashing their might. This is the essence of Susanoo, the Shinto god of storms and war, whose very presence embodies the untamed power of nature and the tumultuous spirit of battle. His story is one of raw emotion and fierce determination, a testament to the complex nature of divine forces. Susanoo, with his wild and unrestrained demeanor, is as much a force of destruction as he is a protector. His very name invokes images of powerful storms and turbulent skies, and his presence is felt in the fierce winds that howl and the crashing waves that smash against the shore. In the pantheon of Shinto gods, Susanoo's character is one of passionate extremes, a divine embodiment of both chaos and courage. One of the most gripping tales of Susanoo's tumultuous nature is his epic battle with the serpent Orochi. This serpent, with its 8 fearsome heads and its venomous breath, had long terrorized the land, laying waste to villages and spreading fear among the people. The beast's reign of terror was a dark cloud hanging over the land, and its defeat became a symbol of hope and salvation. The tale begins with Susanoo's arrival in the human world, having been exiled from the heavens due to his reckless behavior. His exile was a punishment, but it also marked the beginning of his path to redemption. It was in this state of exile that Susanoo encountered the plight of a family, the Kusanagi, who were suffering under the shadow of Orochi's tyranny. The family's daughter, Kushinadaheim, was destined to be sacrificed to the serpent, her fate sealed by the monster's insatiable hunger. Moved by their suffering, Susanoo took it upon himself to end Orochi's reign of terror. With a heart full of determination and a spirit driven by both anger and compassion, he devised a daring plan. He instructed the family to prepare a feast of sake, a powerful rice wine, and place it in the path of the serpent. When Orochi arrived, drunk from the sake, its monstrous heads lulled into a stupor. In this critical moment of vulnerability, Susanoo seized his chance. With a courage that defied the beast's terrifying presence, he struck with his sword, slicing through the serpent's heads and bringing an end to its terror. The battle was fierce and intense, but Susanoo's resolve never wavered. As the final head fell, the storm god stood victorious, his breath mingling with the smoke and steam of the battlefield. This victory was not merely a triumph of strength, but a profound act of redemption. By defeating Orochi, Susanoo proved his worthiness and reaffirmed his place among the gods. His victory brought peace to the land and restored hope to the people. The serpent's defeat was a powerful symbol of overcoming darkness and adversity, and Susanoo's role as a protector was firmly established. Yet, Susanoo's story is not just about his battle with Orochi. It reflects the dual nature of his existence, both a bringer of storms and a fierce warrior. His power is not only in his ability to destroy, but also in his capacity to protect and renew. The storms he commands are as much a force of change as they are of destruction, clearing away the old to make way for the new. Susanu's tumultuous nature is a reminder of the raw, untamed power of nature and the divine. His story speaks to the intense emotions and dramatic conflicts that define his existence, embodying the essence of storms and warfare. His victory over Orochi is a testament to the strength and courage needed to confront the darkest of challenges and emerge victorious. In the end, Susanu stands as a powerful figure in Shinto mythology, embodying both the fierce fury of the storm and the resolute courage of a warrior. His story of redemption and triumph over Orochi is a profound narrative of transformation and hope, illustrating the deep emotional currents that flow through the myths and legends of ancient Japan. The sky was dark, the air thick with the scent of sacrifice, and the pounding of drums echoed like the heartbeat of the earth itself. In the heart of the Aztec capital of Tenochtitlan, there was a presence that commanded reverence and fear. This was Huitzilopochtli, the Aztec god of war, whose name resonated with the thunderous roar of battle and the fiery blaze of conquest. Huitzilopochtli was not just a god, he was the embodiment of the warrior spirit, the fierce protector of the Aztec people, and the driving force behind their expansion and military might. His significance in Aztec culture was immense, a divine figure whose very essence was intertwined with the fate of the empire. To the Aztecs, Huitzilopochtli was both a fearsome deity and a beloved protector, whose favor was sought through rituals that were as grand as they were intense. In the myths surrounding Huitzilopochtli, he is depicted as a warrior with a hummingbird-shaped head and a body adorned with the feathers of this sacred bird. His weapon was a fierce blue serpentine weapon, and his energy was that of the sun itself, unrelenting and powerful. He was the embodiment of the relentless drive to conquer and dominate, a force that the Aztecs believed guided them to their destiny. Huitzilopochtli's influence over Aztec warfare was profound and direct. He was seen as the patron of warriors, guiding them into battle with a promise of victory and glory. The Aztec people believed that their military campaigns were not just acts of conquest, but sacred duties performed under the watchful eye of their god. Every battle fought was a ritual in itself, a way to honor Huitzilopochtli and secure his favor. The rituals dedicated to Huitzilopochtli were as dramatic and intense as the god himself. The most significant of these was the Templo Mayor, the Great Pyramid in the center of Tenochtitlan. This temple was not just a place of worship, but a powerful symbol of the Aztecs' connection to their god. It was here that sacrifices were performed, not merely as offerings, but as acts of divine communication. The blood of sacrificial victims was seen as a gift to Huitzilopochtli, ensuring his continued protection and support. The rituals were both awe-inspiring and terrifying. The Aztecs believed that the life force of the sacrifices was essential for sustaining the sun and, by extension, their very existence. The intensity of these ceremonies reflected the profound respect and fear they had for Huitzilopochtli. The sacrifices were often conducted on the top of the Templo Mayor, where the blood of the victims would flow down the steps, mingling with the cries of the onlookers and the rhythm of the drums. These moments were charged with a palpable energy, a connection between the earthly realm and the divine. Huitzilopochtli's role in Aztec culture was not limited to warfare and rituals. He was also deeply embedded in their mythology and daily life. According to legend, he guided the Aztecs to their promised land, a barren valley where they would build their great city. His presence was felt in every aspect of their lives, from the strategic decisions made in the heat of battle to the symbolic rituals performed at their grand temple. The stories of Huitzilopochtli's divine interventions in battle are legendary. One tale speaks of his assistance in the great conquest of Tenochtitlan. In this myth, the god is said to have appeared in a vision, directing the Aztec warriors and ensuring their success. The sight of Huitzilopochtli in the midst of battle was said to inspire fear in their enemies and courage in their hearts. Yet, beneath the fierce exterior of Huitzilopochtli lay a deeper connection to the cycle of life and death. His role in warfare was not just about the destruction of enemies, but about the renewal and continuation of the Aztec Empire. His fierce energy was believed to maintain cosmic order, and the sacrifices made in his honor were seen as vital for sustaining the balance of the universe. The god's influence extended beyond his divine presence to the hearts and minds of his people. To be favored by Huitzilopochtli was to be blessed with strength, courage, and an unyielding spirit. His followers sought to emulate his divine qualities, channeling his energy in their own lives and battles. The very thought of his approval was a driving force, propelling them to achieve greatness and honor their god. Huitzilopochtli's legacy is a powerful reminder of the intricate relationship between a people and their deity. His story is one of intensity, devotion, and the profound impact that a god can have on a civilization. His presence was both a blessing and a challenge, a force that shaped the Aztec Empire and left an indelible mark on their culture and history. The roar of a serpent, both thunderous and ancient, reverberates through the dense jungles of the Yucatan Peninsula. This is Kukulkan, the Mayan god whose presence embodies the raw power of creation and the relentless force of war. To the Maya, Kukulkan was not just a deity but a living embodiment of duality, a god whose nature reflected both the nurturing and destructive aspects of existence. Kukulkan, often depicted as a feathered serpent, represents a complex weave of divine attributes. His serpentine form, adorned with the brilliant plumes of a quetzal, signifies the intertwining of the heavens and the earth, of air and water. This majestic creature is not merely a symbol of might but a being of profound significance, bridging the gap between creation and destruction. In the Mayan worldview, Kukulkan's role as a creator was as central as his role as a warrior. His influence was felt in every aspect of life, from the nurturing rains that brought fertility to the land to the fierce storms that could lay waste to the fields. His creation was not limited to the physical world, it extended to the shaping of the very fabric of reality, weaving together the elements to form a coherent, living universe. The dual nature of Kukulkan can be seen in the way he shaped the world. He is credited with the creation of the Maya civilization, guiding the people to establish their cities and develop their complex culture. The Great Pyramid of Chichen Itza, dedicated to Kukulkan, stands as a testament to his role as a creator. The pyramid's design reflects the deity's influence, with its steps and alignments capturing the cycles of the sun and the movements of the stars. During the equinox, the shadow cast by the pyramid mimics the descending serpent, symbolizing Kukulkan's divine presence and his connection to the cycles of nature. Yet, Kukulkan's role as a god of war is equally profound. His fierce aspect is not to be underestimated, for he is also a powerful force of change and renewal through destruction. In battle, Kukulkan's presence was invoked to ensure victory and to instill fear in the hearts of enemies. The Maya believed that his power could turn the tide of conflict, and his guidance was sought in moments of crisis and strife. The imagery of Kukulkan as a serpent is particularly evocative in this context. The serpent's ability to shed its skin symbolizes the cycle of death and rebirth, of destruction giving way to creation. Just as a serpent's shedding is a renewal of its life, Kukulkan's role in war was seen as a necessary part of the cycle of life, where conflict leads to transformation and the forging of new beginnings. One of the most striking tales of Kukulkan's dual nature involves his interaction with the celestial forces. According to legend, he would descend from the heavens during crucial moments, guiding his people through both the fertile periods of peace and the harsh realities of war. His descent was marked by powerful storms and the display of his serpentine form, reminding the Maya of his omnipotent presence. The rituals performed in honor of Kukulkan were as dynamic as his character. They were designed to appeal to both his creative and destructive aspects, reflecting the duality of his nature. Offerings were made to honor his role as a creator, seeking his blessings for fertility and prosperity. At the same time, sacrifices were made to appease his warrior side, asking for his favor in battle and protection from harm. In the intricate balance between creation and destruction, Kukulkan's role was both revered and feared. His influence was seen as essential to the harmony of the world, and his presence was a constant reminder of the delicate interplay between the forces of life and death. The Maya's deep respect for Kukulkan is evident in the grandeur of their temples and the intensity of their rituals, reflecting the profound impact he had on their culture and beliefs. As the sun sets over the ancient Mayan cities, casting long shadows across the pyramids and temples, the legacy of Kukulkan endures. His dual nature as a god of both creation and war continues to captivate the imagination, symbolizing the eternal cycle of life and the powerful forces that shape the world. The roar of the serpent, once heard in the dense jungles and echoing through the sacred spaces, remains a potent reminder of the god who wove the threads of existence and battle into the rich tapestry of Maya civilization. The storm clouds gather, darkening the sky with a menace that feels almost palpable. In the midst of this turmoil, Baal, the Canaanite god of storms and war, emerges from the shadows of ancient belief, a figure whose presence is as commanding as the storms he controls. To the ancient Semitic cultures, Baal was more than just a deity. He was a symbol of the raw power of nature and the fierce determination of warfare. Baal, whose name means Lord or Master, was often depicted wielding a thunderbolt, a dramatic emblem of his control over the forces of nature. His fierce visage, often shown with a horned helmet and a mighty club, struck terror into the hearts of those who faced him. To the people of Canaan, Baal was not a distant, indifferent deity but a living force, a god whose moods and actions directly influenced their lives. In ancient Semitic cultures, Baal's role was both complex and crucial. He was seen as the ruler of the heavens, responsible for the thunderous storms that brought life-sustaining rain to the arid lands. His storms were not merely destructive, they were also a necessary part of the cycle of fertility and renewal. When Baal roared from the skies, it was not only a display of his might, but a signal of his vital role in the cycle of life and death. Yet, Baal's power extended beyond the heavens and into the realm of warfare. In the myths that wove through the ancient Near Eastern cultures, Baal was a warrior god, leading armies and vanquishing foes with the same ferocity that characterized his storms. His role in war was not just about physical combat, but about embodying the divine will that guided and protected his people. One of the most vivid stories of Baal's might comes from the ancient texts of the Ugaritic city-state. In these texts, Baal's battle with Yam, the god of the sea, is a dramatic tale of struggle and triumph. Yam, representing chaos and the primeval ocean, threatens the order of the world, and Baal, with his thunderous strength, confronts him in a battle that echoes the cosmic struggle between order and chaos. The clash between Baal and Yam is more than a mere fight, it is a divine struggle for control over the elements, for the balance of life itself. The story doesn't end with Yam's defeat. Baal's victory brings stability and order, but it is also a reminder of the constant struggle between chaos and order. His triumph ensures that the rains will come, that the land will be fertile, and that his people will be protected. But it also underscores the volatile nature of his power. The storms that can bring life can also bring destruction. In the ancient cities of Canaan, Baal's influence was omnipresent. His presence was invoked in rituals and ceremonies designed to appease him and seek his favor. These rituals often involved sacrifices and offerings, reflecting the deep respect and fear Baal inspired. His temples, though less grand than those of some other gods, were nonetheless centers of worship where the faithful gathered to seek his blessings or beg for his protection. The imagery associated with Baal was as formidable as his reputation. The thunderbolt, a symbol of his power, was not just a weapon but a divine sign of his ability to command the elements. The horned helmet and club represented his warrior aspect, signifying his readiness to battle the forces of chaos and protect his people. This blend of storm and war, creation and destruction, made Baal a figure of immense significance. His dual role as both a god of storms and a god of war reflects the ancient understanding of the interconnectedness of life and nature. The same storm that could lay waste to crops and cities was also the one that brought the rains necessary for growth. Similarly, Baal's role in war was not solely about conquest, but about maintaining order and justice. His power was a reminder of the balance that must be maintained between creation and destruction, between life and death. As the storm clouds rage and Baal's roar echoes across the land, his legacy endures. His presence in the ancient myths and rituals of the Canaanite people is a testament to his vital role in their worldview. Baal was not just a god of storm and war, he was a living force whose power shaped the very fabric of existence, a symbol of the divine struggle that defined the world. The ancient Semitic cultures understood this well, and their reverence for Baal reflects the deep connection between their lives and the divine forces that governed their world. In the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, where the land meets the sky and the whispers of the wind carry tales of gods and heroes, one deity commands both reverence and fear, Enlil, the god of wind and war. His presence was as formidable and unpredictable as the storms he controlled, and his influence over both weather and conflict shaped the lives of the people who worshipped him. Imagine a vast and arid landscape where the sun scorches the earth and the winds howl like ancient spirits in torment. In this harsh environment, the Mesopotamians looked up to Enlil, believing that he alone had the power to control the very air they breathed. As the god of wind, Enlil's moods dictated the seasons and the weather. His breath could bring life-giving rain or scorch the land with blistering heat. To them, he was both a source of sustenance and a harbinger of destruction, wielding a power that could alter the fate of their crops and, by extension, their very survival. Enlil's role extended beyond the weather, embracing the realm of warfare with a force as immense as the storms he commanded. He was not merely a deity to be placated, he was a formidable force whose favor was crucial in times of conflict. In the ancient Sumerian city-states, where power struggles and territorial disputes were common, Enlil's blessing was sought by kings and warriors alike. His involvement in warfare was not just about victory, it was about the divine approval that came with it, a sign that the gods themselves endorsed one's cause. The myths surrounding Enlil paint him as a god of immense authority, with a voice that could shake the heavens. One vivid tale recounts how Enlil used his power to battle the forces of chaos. The story speaks of his role in shaping the world, a reminder of his ability to bring order from disorder. The wind, under his command, could sweep away the chaos and bring clarity, just as he could use it to drive away enemies in battle. The duality of his nature as both a bringer of rain and a god of war made him a figure of both awe and dread. In Mesopotamian religion, Enlil was often depicted as a majestic figure, his presence marked by the mighty winds he controlled. He was seen as a central deity in the pantheon, holding dominion over the heavens and the earth. His temple, the Ikur, was not just a place of worship but a symbol of his power, towering above the city of Nippur as a beacon of divine authority. The very wind that swept through the temple was considered a sign of his presence, a reminder that he was watching over both the land and its people. Enlil's role in conflict was as complex as his control over the weather. To the ancient Mesopotamians, war was not merely a human endeavor, it was an arena where divine will was manifested. Enlil's involvement in battles was seen as a direct intervention of the gods, a sign that the outcome of the conflict was determined by forces far beyond human control. Kings and warriors would offer sacrifices and prayers to Enlil, seeking his favor and hoping that his winds would guide their arrows and shield them from their enemies. The connection between Enlil's wind and war reflects a deeper belief in the interconnectedness of all things. The same wind that could bring a storm could also clear the skies for a battle. The same god who controlled the rains also determined the fate of armies. This duality was not seen as contradictory but as a natural aspect of Enlil's power. His influence was felt in every gust of wind and every clash of swords, reminding the people of his ever-present role in their lives. The fear and awe that Enlil inspired were not without reason. His control over the wind made him a figure of both life and death. The same breath that could nurture crops could also carry away everything in its path. His power over warfare meant that the outcomes of battles were seen as a reflection of his divine will, a testament to his ability to shape the destinies of kings and kingdoms. In the quiet moments, when the winds would blow softly across the Mesopotamian plains, the people would feel Enlil's presence. His power was a constant reminder of the delicate balance between creation and destruction, between peace and conflict. In every storm and every calm, Enlil's influence was felt, a divine force that shaped their world in ways both wondrous and terrifying. Enlil's legacy is etched in the history of Mesopotamia, a testament to his role as a god of both wind and war. His power was as unpredictable as the weather he controlled and as decisive as the battles he influenced. To the people of ancient Mesopotamia, Enlil was a god whose presence was both a blessing and a reminder of the immense forces that governed their world. In the ancient city of Babylon, where the mighty Euphrates River cut through the land like a life-giving artery, one god's name stood above all others, Marduk. His rise to prominence is a story of power and transformation, where war and creation intertwined in a dance of divine supremacy. Marduk was not just a god, he was a force that shaped the very fabric of existence and determined the fates of kings and nations. The story of Marduk begins in the heart of Babylon, where he emerged from humble beginnings to become the supreme deity of the city. In the early days, Babylon was just one among many city-states, but Marduk's ascent to power would change everything. His rise was not a mere accumulation of power, it was a profound transformation that mirrored the very forces of creation and destruction. Marduk's prominence in Babylonian mythology is intricately linked to his role in warfare. As the god of creation, he was seen as a divine architect, molding the world from chaos. But his power extended far beyond mere creation. Marduk was also a god of war, and his influence was felt in every battle that shaped the fate of the Babylonians. His dual role as creator and warrior made him a central figure in the city's mythology, embodying the very essence of both life and conflict. One of the most compelling stories of Marduk's influence in warfare is the epic of his battle against Tiamat, the primordial sea goddess. According to legend, Tiamat's chaotic forces threatened the order of the universe, and it was Marduk who stepped forward to restore balance. Armed with his powerful weapon, the storm, Marduk faced Tiamat in a cataclysmic battle that shook the heavens and the earth. With every clash, the fate of the cosmos hung in the balance. Marduk's victory was not just a personal triumph, it was a cosmic event that established him as the ruler of the gods and the master of the universe. This victory over Tiamat was more than just a myth, it was a symbol of Marduk's power to shape reality itself. The gods, seeing his strength and bravery, granted him supreme authority. Babylon became the center of his worship, and Marduk's name was invoked in every aspect of life, from the grandeur of the city's architecture to the courage of its warriors. The Babylonians believed that Marduk's favor was essential for their success in battle and their prosperity as a city. In the streets of Babylon, Marduk was not just a distant deity but a living presence. The people looked to him as their protector and guide, believing that his power could turn the tide of any battle. His role in warfare was not just about fighting, it was about ensuring that the divine order was maintained and that justice prevailed. Marduk's influence extended to the very fabric of Babylonian society, where his guidance was sought in times of conflict and peace alike. The Grand Ziggurat of Babylon, known as the Etemenanke, was a testament to Marduk's divine status. This massive structure, reaching towards the heavens, was a symbol of his power and a place where the people came to seek his blessing. The ziggurat was not just an architectural marvel, it was a reflection of Marduk's role as a god who connected the divine with the earthly. It stood as a reminder of his dominance in both creation and warfare, a beacon of his influence that shone brightly over the city. Marduk's power in battle was not just about physical prowess, it was also about divine strategy and wisdom. The Babylonians believed that Marduk's guidance could turn the tide of war, and his priests would invoke his name in prayers and rituals to seek his favor. The outcome of battles was seen as a direct reflection of Marduk's will, and his presence was believed to be a decisive factor in the success or failure of military campaigns. The connection between Marduk's role in creation and his influence in warfare was a profound aspect of Babylonian religion. His ability to shape the world and bring order from chaos was mirrored in his power to lead armies and secure victories. The stories of his battles and his role as a creator intertwined to create a powerful image of a deity who was both a master of the cosmos and a protector of his people. In the end, Marduk's legacy is a testament to his unique position as a god of both creation and war. His rise to prominence was a reflection of his immense power and the deep connection between the divine and the earthly. To the people of Babylon, Marduk was more than a deity, he was a symbol of strength, justice, and the boundless potential to shape their world. His name became synonymous with power and authority, a reminder of the divine forces that guided their lives and their destiny. In the heart of ancient Japan, where the dawn's light spread across the land like a golden promise, Amaterasu shines as a beacon of hope and strength. She is the radiant sun goddess, a figure whose presence is as vital as the sunlight that warms the earth. But Amaterasu's light is not just a symbol of warmth, it is a powerful force in the realm of battles and divine authority. The story of Amaterasu is one of both grandeur and poignancy. In the tapestry of Japanese mythology, she is the central deity, embodying the sun's life-giving power and the fierce spirit of battle. Her role goes beyond merely illuminating the world. It encompasses the fierce determination of a warrior goddess whose influence is felt in the sacred and the earthly realms. Amaterasu's connection to battles is intricately tied to her story of seclusion and the world's darkness. The legend tells of a time when Amaterasu, in a moment of despair and anger, withdrew into a cave, plunging the world into utter darkness. The absence of her light threw the world into chaos, illustrating just how critical her presence was. The gods, desperate to draw her out, staged a divine festival outside the cave, filled with laughter and dance. They even placed a mirror outside, reflecting the sun's brilliance in an attempt to coax her back. The moment Amaterasu peered out from the cave, her light broke through the darkness, and the world was bathed in her warm glow once more. This event was not just a return of daylight, it was a powerful testament to her role as a beacon of hope and strength. Her emergence restored balance and order, reminding all of her divine authority and the pivotal role she plays in maintaining harmony. Amaterasu's influence extends far beyond the symbolic light of the sun. She is a goddess of war, embodying the strength and courage needed to lead and protect. In Japanese mythology, she is not just a passive observer of battles, she actively participates in the shaping of conflicts and the outcomes of wars. Her presence is a divine assurance that justice will prevail and that the forces of chaos will be held at bay. One of the most compelling aspects of Amaterasu's role as a warrior goddess is her connection to the Japanese imperial family. She is considered the ancestress of the imperial line, a divine protector of the realm. Her legacy is woven into the very fabric of Japan's history and culture. The emperors, seen as her direct descendants, were believed to rule under her guidance and with her divine favor. This connection imbued them with a sense of sacred duty and a profound responsibility to lead with honor and strength. The Shinto shrine of Ise, dedicated to Amaterasu, stands as a powerful symbol of her enduring influence. This sacred place, with its simple yet majestic design, is a testament to her revered status. Every 20 years, the shrine is rebuilt in a tradition that mirrors the cyclical nature of life and renewal. This act of rebuilding symbolizes Amaterasu's perpetual presence and the ongoing renewal of her divine light and protection. Amaterasu's role in battles is also reflected in the ancient practice of divination and prayer. Warriors and leaders would seek her guidance before engaging in conflict, believing that her favor could turn the tide of battle. Her divine light was seen as a powerful force that could guide them to victory and ensure their success. This belief in her protective power made her a central figure not just in mythology but in the practical lives of those who sought her blessing. Her fierce spirit is mirrored in her legendary conflicts with other deities. One such tale involves her confrontation with the storm god Susanoo. Their clash, filled with tension and drama, was a reflection of the struggle between order and chaos, between the sun and the storm. Amaterasu's strength and resolve in these stories highlight her role as a warrior goddess, capable of standing firm against any challenge that threatened the balance of the world. Amaterasu's influence is not limited to her divine actions, it extends into the hearts of her followers. Her stories evoke a deep sense of reverence and awe, inspiring courage and resilience. The goddess who brought light to a world in darkness becomes a symbol of hope and strength for all who seek her guidance. In every corner of Japan, from ancient shrines to modern-day traditions, Amaterasu's presence is a reminder of the enduring power of light and the strength of the divine warrior. Her legacy is a powerful blend of the sacred and the earthly, a testament to the profound impact of a goddess who commands both the sun's brilliance and the fierce spirit of battle. In the chilling winds of the Norse lands, where the nights stretch long and the frost bites deep, Freyja stands as a fierce and captivating figure. Her name is a whisper on the lips of warriors and a promise in the eyes of lovers. As the goddess of love and war, Freyja embodies a power both tender and terrifying. She is a paradox of grace and ferocity, whose presence commands both affection and respect. Freya's connection to war is not merely a facet of her being, it is a profound part of her essence. Unlike the distant and cold gods of battle, Freya steps into the fray with an unmatched intensity. Her love for the battlefield is as fierce as her passion for the beautiful and the divine. This duality makes her a figure of awe and mystery. The Valkyries, the fierce warrior maidens who choose the slain and escort them to Valhalla, are Freya's chosen emissaries. These spectral warriors are not just warriors, they are Freya's closest companions, executing her will and reflecting her own complex nature. They are the embodiment of her might and her mercy, her ability to love and her need to fight. In battle, the Valkyries are said to sweep through the chaos of war, their presence an omen of both fate and favor. Freya's role among the Valkyries is more than ceremonial. She is the one who determines the fate of those who fall in battle. Her choice of the fallen is not arbitrary but a reflection of her divine judgment. To be chosen by Freya is to be honored, to be marked by a goddess whose love for the brave and the bold is as fierce as her own desire for peace and prosperity. Each warrior she selects is destined to join the ranks of the honored dead in Valhalla, where they will wait until the day of Ragnarok, the final battle. Her connection to love adds another layer to her already intricate character. Freya's love is not just for the romantic, it is for the world she watches over. Her passion for beauty, fertility, and desire are not separate from her role as a war goddess, but intertwined with it. In the old tales, Freya's tears are said to turn into gold, symbolizing the way her emotions can transform and transcend the ordinary. Her love fuels her strength in battle, giving her a depth and complexity that few other deities possess. Freya's story is one of contrasts, of fierce battles fought and tender moments cherished. Her love for the warrior, her passion for the glory of the battlefield, and her profound connection to the fate of the slain all come together to form a portrait of a goddess who is as multifaceted as she is formidable. The warriors who fought valiantly knew that Freya's eyes were upon them, a source of both inspiration and fear. In her hall of Sesrumner, where she receives the chosen slain, Freya is not just a figure of divine power but of welcoming warmth. It is here that the heroes she has chosen will feast and prepare for the final conflict. Her hall is a place where the courage of warriors is celebrated, where their stories are honored, and where their spirits find rest until the final reckoning. Freya's role in these tales is not just to command, but to comfort, to be both a fierce warrior and a loving caretaker. Her connection to love and war makes Freya a symbol of ultimate strength and complexity. She embodies the raw power of the battlefield and the deep tenderness of the heart. Her influence is felt in every clash of steel and every whisper of affection. In the Norse world, Freya is both the fierce goddess of the fight and the loving figure who watches over the brave, a reminder that even in the darkest moments of battle, there is light, and even in the deepest love, there is strength. In the mist-covered hills and wild, untamed fields of ancient Celtic lands, the sound of galloping hooves echoed through the air, fierce and unyielding. At the heart of these lands, guiding the charge of warriors into battle, was Epona, the goddess of horses and war. Her spirit surged through the powerful, untamed stallions, their manes whipping in the wind like banners of defiance. Epona was not just a guardian of horses, she was a protector of warriors, a symbol of strength, speed, and freedom that carried the Celts through the tumult of warfare. Epona's presence on the battlefield was a force that could be felt in every heartbeat of the earth beneath the horse's hooves. Warriors would look to her for favor, for the blessing of speed and the courage to face the enemy without fear. Epona's role was not limited to the stables or the pastures, she was there in the thick of battle, her essence intertwined with the spirit of every warhorse that carried a rider into the fray. In the heat of combat, it was said that Epona's gaze was upon the warriors, guiding them, urging them forward with the unstoppable momentum of a charging steed. The bond between Epona and the horses she so loved was unlike any other. To her, these creatures were more than mere animals, they were her sacred companions, revered and cherished. Horses were seen as symbols of freedom and power, and to ride one was to embrace a piece of Epona's own strength. In times of war, these noble creatures became extensions of the warriors themselves, moving as if with a single purpose, a shared soul that carried them both into glory or into the arms of death. Epona's blessing was sought by those who rode into battle, her name invoked in whispered prayers and bold war cries alike. Epona's influence stretched beyond the physical form of the horse. She embodied the very essence of movement and speed, the fluid grace of a horse at full gallop, the wild spirit that refused to be tamed. To the Celts, she was more than just a deity of war, she was the very breath of life that filled the lungs of their steeds, the fire that burned in their hearts as they raced toward their enemies. Her connection to horses was seen as a connection to the primal forces of nature itself, a reminder that strength could be found in the wild and the untamed. In the quiet moments before battle, warriors would honor Epona with offerings, laying gifts at her shrines in the hopes of earning her favor. They believed that Epona could bestow upon them the endurance of her beloved horses, the stamina to keep fighting when their bodies were weary, and the courage to face death without flinching. Her shrines were often adorned with images of horses, their forms etched in stone or carved into the walls of sacred spaces. To honor Epona was to honor the bond between horse and rider, a bond that was as sacred as any oath sworn in the heat of battle. On the battlefield, Epona's presence was a comforting one. As warriors rode into the chaos of war, they did so with the belief that Epona rode with them, her spirit guiding their mounts, her strength coursing through their veins. It was said that in the moments of greatest peril, when the odds seemed insurmountable, Epona's voice could be heard in the wind, a fierce and rallying cry that spurred the warriors on. To those who believed in her, Epona was not just a goddess, she was a companion in battle, a steadfast ally who stood by their side even in the face of death. Epona's connection to horses also made her a symbol of transition and movement. Just as a horse could carry a rider swiftly from one place to another, Epona was believed to guide souls from the world of the living to the world of the dead. In this way, her role extended beyond the battlefield and into the realm of the afterlife. She was a guardian not only of warriors in life but also in death, leading them to their final rest with the same grace and strength she embodied in life. Her dual role as a goddess of both war and transition made her a figure of great reverence, a reminder that every battle fought on Earth was but a small part of a much larger journey. For the Celts, Epona was a constant presence, her spirit felt in every thunderous gallop, every fierce charge, and every quiet moment of connection between a rider and their steed. She was the heart of the battlefield, the soul of the horse, and the spirit of every warrior who fought with courage and honor. Epona's legacy was one of strength and freedom, of the unbreakable bond between horse and rider, and of the eternal spirit of the warrior that lived on in the hearts of those who rode in her name. The rain fell in heavy sheets, drumming on the earth like 1,000 warriors marching in unison. Each drop seemed to carry a whisper of power, a reminder of nature's unstoppable force. In the heart of the Aztec world, where water was both life and destruction, there reigned Calcayadlacu, the goddess of water and war. Her eyes were the color of jade, shimmering with the deep, knowing gaze of rivers and lakes. To the Aztecs, Calcayadlacu was not just a bringer of rain, she was the keeper of their survival and the fierce spirit of their battles. Calcayadlacu was the embodiment of all waters, the lakes that fed the land, the rivers that wound through valleys, and the rain that fell from the heavens. She nurtured the crops, filled the canals, and provided the lifeblood of the great city of Tenochtitlan. But with her gift came a warning, a reminder that water could be both gentle and terrifying. As easily as she could bless the earth with rain, she could also unleash her wrath, turning calm streams into raging floods, and bringing droughts that cracked the soil. Her waters were a double-edged sword, as vital as they were unpredictable. She was often seen wearing a skirt made of jade beads, glistening like water droplets under the sun. Her presence was a comfort to those who sought her favor, but she was no gentle maiden of the lakes. Calcayadlacu was as fierce as the storm she commanded, a force that could nurture life and drown it just as quickly. She was the protector of women and children, but also the terror of those who dared to underestimate her strength. In the same breath that she soothed a crying child with the sound of gentle rain, she could call forth storms that would lay waste to cities. Calcayadlacu's connection to war was as intricate as her relationship with water. She was the one who could cleanse warriors with her sacred rivers, washing away the stains of battle, both literal and spiritual. Yet, she was also a goddess who understood the blood that flowed on the battlefield, mirroring the waters that flowed through her domain. The Aztecs knew that war, like water, could cleanse and renew, but also devastate. Calcayatlacue stood at the heart of this balance, wielding her power with a knowing hand. Her blessing was sought in both peace and conflict, a reminder that every drop of rain and every drop of blood carried a purpose. In the myths, Calcayatlacue was not only a life-giver but a life-taker. She presided over the fourth sun, a world-ending flood that swept away an entire era. Her tears were said to have caused the deluge, crying for the suffering of humanity. The flood was not merely a punishment but a necessary end to a cycle, paving the way for new beginnings. To the Aztecs, this story was more than a tale of destruction. It was a lesson in the cyclical nature of life, death, and rebirth. Calcayatlacue, with her tears and torrents, was the weaver of these cycles, balancing creation and destruction in her watery hands. Her role extended to rituals and offerings that were performed by the Aztecs in her honor. They would bring gifts of jade and precious stones, offerings that mirrored her own green and blue hues. These acts were not just mere tokens, they were a way of connecting with the goddess, pleading for rain in times of drought or calm in times of tempest. The sacrifices made in her name were seen as a necessary tribute to keep her favor, to ensure that her waters remained a source of life and not a harbinger of death. She was a goddess who demanded respect, whose wrath was feared as much as her blessings were cherished. Calcayatlacue's influence was not confined to the watery realms, it extended into the hearts of the warriors who fought for the glory of their gods. In the battles that defined the Aztec world, warriors believed that they fought with the blessings of the gods, and Calcayatlacue was no exception. Her waters were said to cleanse the battlefield, to carry away the souls of the fallen to their final rest. She was there in the shouts of warriors and the clash of obsidian blades, a silent witness to the ebb and flow of life that mirrored the currents of her rivers. Her spirit flowed through the veins of those who fought, giving them strength to carry on in the face of overwhelming odds. For the Aztecs, Calcayatlacue was not just a distant deity but a constant presence in their lives. Every drop of rain that fell, every stream that flowed, was a reminder of her watchful gaze. She was the water that quenched their thirst and the storm that brought them to their knees. Her power was as vast as the oceans and as personal as a single tear. She taught them that strength could be found in surrender, that sometimes the most powerful act was to let go and flow with the currents of life. In the stories passed down through generations, Calcayatlacue's name was spoken with reverence and awe. She was the fierce protector and the relentless destroyer, the giver of life and the harbinger of floods. To the Aztecs, she was a force that could not be contained, a reminder that nature's gifts were to be respected and feared in equal measure. Calcayatlacue stood as a testament to the duality of existence, where creation and destruction were two sides of the same coin, and every blessing came with the shadow of its cost. Her legacy lived on in the rivers that flowed through the heart of Tenochtitlan, in the rains that nourished the crops, and in the stories that spoke of her power. Calcayatlacue was more than a goddess of water and war, she was the very essence of life's unpredictable nature, the promise of both hope and devastation that flowed through every stream and storm. To honor her was to accept the cycles of nature, to understand that every end was a new beginning, and that in every drop of rain there lay the heartbeat of a goddess. When the air grew heavy and the stench of death clung to the wind, the people of ancient Mesopotamia knew that Nergal was near. He wasn't a god of gentle rains or warm sunlight, but a dark force that thrived in shadows and despair. Nergal, the god of war and pestilence, was a figure that haunted the dreams of warriors and common folk alike. His presence was felt in the fevered breaths of the sick, in the cries of the wounded on the battlefield, and in the quiet, suffocating silence of death. To speak his name was to call upon the darkness that loomed over life, a force that was as inevitable as the night itself. Nergal's role was not one of comfort or mercy. He was the harbinger of disease, the one who brought plagues that swept through cities like wildfire. When the crops withered and children's faces grew pale and sunken, the people knew it was Nergal's doing. He ruled over pestilence with a cruel hand, sending sickness to remind the living of their frailty. His was not the slow, creeping kind of illness that gave one time to prepare. It was swift, merciless, leaving families shattered and communities broken in its wake. Nurgle's presence could turn a bustling market into a place of mourning, where the only sounds were the wails of those who had lost everything. In battle, Nurgle's shadow loomed large. He was not a god who stood beside warriors with encouraging words or protective shields. No, Nurgle thrived in the chaos of war, in the clash of metal and the screams of the dying. He was there in the frenzy of combat, feeding on the fear and fury that roared through the hearts of men. Soldiers prayed to survive his wrath, knowing that the god of war did not choose sides. He reveled in the bloodshed, indifferent to the causes of the conflict or the hopes of the fighters. Nurgle was the embodiment of war's brutal reality, a force that cared not for honor or glory, only for the relentless drive to conquer and destroy. Nurgle's influence stretched beyond the earthly realm. He was also a king of the underworld, a ruler of the dead. He commanded legions of demons and spirits, sending them forth to collect the souls of those who fell to his many scourges. The underworld was his domain, a place where the light of the sun could never reach, and hope was a forgotten dream. It was said that Nurgle's gaze could freeze the very essence of life, trapping souls in a bleak eternity where suffering never ceased. He sat upon a throne of bones, surrounded by the whispers of the lost and the cries of those who had met their end under his watch. Despite his terrifying nature, Nurgle was not merely a god of cruelty. In his own way, he represented the harsh truths of existence, that life was fleeting, that death was inescapable, and that suffering was a part of the human condition. He was the embodiment of the struggles that defined the Mesopotamian world, where survival was a daily battle against both human foes and the unforgiving elements. Nurgle's presence was a reminder of the balance between life and death, of the thin line that separated the two. In the same breath that he brought devastation, he also underscored the value of every moment of peace, every breath taken in defiance of the darkness. Nurgle was often depicted with flames surrounding him, a symbol of the fever and burning agony that accompanied his plagues. He wielded a mace, a brutal weapon that signified his dominion over war and punishment. His eyes were said to blaze with the fury of 1,000 battles, unyielding and merciless. To look upon Nurgle was to see the embodiment of every fear and pain that humanity could endure. Yet, in his fierce, unrelenting nature, there was also a strange form of justice. He did not play favorites or grant favors. His wrath was indiscriminate, falling upon kings and peasants alike, a grim equalizer in a world of inequalities. The myths of Nurgle told of a god who was not born to the darkness but who chose it willingly. He descended into the underworld not as a victim but as a conqueror, claiming his place among the dead with pride and authority. His descent was not a fall but a rise to power in a realm where few dared to tread. This act defined Nurgle's character, a god who did not shy away from the harshest realities but faced them head-on, unafraid to claim dominion over the aspects of life that others feared. In his hands, the power of death was not something to be mourned but a force to be wielded with confidence and control. For the people who worshipped him, Nurgle was a figure to be respected and feared, a god whose favor could never truly be won but whose wrath could be devastating. They offered prayers and sacrifices, not out of love, but out of a desperate hope to keep his anger at bay. They knew that in times of war or plague, it was Nurgle who held their fate in his hands. His influence was as pervasive as the air they breathed, as inevitable as the turning of seasons. He was the quiet whisper in the night, the shiver down the spine, the lurking dread that could not be shaken. Even in his darkest moments, Nurgle served as a reminder of resilience. He was the test that life threw at humanity, the challenge that pushed them to their limits. In the face of Nurgle's trials, the people learned to find strength within themselves, to fight not only against the visible enemies but against the unseen forces that sought to break them. Nurgle was the storm and the calm after, the destruction and the will to rebuild. Through every hardship he brought, he also offered a chance to prove one's worth, to rise above the despair and carve out a space for hope, even in the bleakest of times. Nurgle's legacy endured not just in the temples and the prayers, but in the hearts of those who lived through the times of war and disease. He was a part of the fabric of their existence, a constant, unyielding presence that shaped their understanding of the world. To speak of Nurgle was to acknowledge the darker side of life, to accept that pain and loss were as much a part of the journey as joy and triumph. In his cold, unflinching gaze, the people saw a reflection of their own struggles, and in that reflection, they found the strength to keep moving forward, to keep fighting against the tides of fate that Nurgle so often brought crashing down upon them. War has always been a part of human history, a shadow that lingers no matter how much the world changes. Even today, as battles rage across distant lands and conflicts simmer beneath the surface of everyday life, the echoes of ancient war gods can still be heard. These deities of old, fierce and unyielding, have not been forgotten. They linger in the stories we tell, in the symbols we recognize, and in the very way we think about war and conflict. The gods of war, with all their power and fury, are not just relics of a distant past, they live on, shaping how we view the struggles of our time. There's something in the human heart that responds to the tales of these ancient gods. It's not just their strength or their command over armies, it's the raw, unfiltered emotion they represent. They are more than figures of myth, they embody the chaos, the fear, the courage, and the pain that war brings. Whether it's Mars marching at the head of Roman legions or Freyr riding with the Valkyries to choose the slain, these gods remind us of the human cost of conflict. They are the shouts of victory and the cries of the fallen, the blood-soaked fields and the quiet, aching moments of loss. In the modern world, where the tools of war have grown more sophisticated, the legacy of these gods is still felt. The ancient deities were not just warriors, they were protectors, strategists, and sometimes, reluctant participants in the battles that defined their people's fate. This duality speaks to us today, as we grapple with the complexities of war. The gods of old did not always fight because they wanted to, often, they fought because they had to, driven by duty, honor, or the unbreakable bonds of loyalty. This echoes in every soldier's story and every leader's decision to send their people into harm's way. War is never just about power, it's about choices, sacrifices, and the burdens that come with them. In modern storytelling, these war gods find new life. They appear in books, movies, and games, reimagined for a new generation. Yet, even in these fresh portrayals, the core of what they represent remains the same. Ares, fierce and reckless, still personifies the uncontrollable rage of battle. Athena, with her wisdom and strategy, still guides those who seek a path through the fog of war. Their stories have been retold countless times, but the emotions they stir are timeless. They remind us that war is not just a clash of swords or the roar of cannons, it is a human experience, filled with fear, hope, and an unending quest for peace. But it's not just in the stories we tell, it's in the way we think about conflict itself. The gods of war teach us about the thin line between heroism and destruction, between defending what's right and being consumed by the very violence we seek to end. They embody the struggle to find purpose in chaos, to hold on to one's humanity when surrounded by the worst of human nature. In every debate about war, and every protest for peace, the legacy of these gods whispers in our ears, reminding us of the weight of our choices and the cost of our actions. We see their influence in the way we honor our heroes and mourn our losses. Memorials to the fallen, parades for returning soldiers, moments of silence, they are all echoes of the ancient rituals that once honored the gods of war. We light candles, lay wreaths, and tell stories of bravery and sacrifice, keeping alive the traditions that began long before our time. Just as the ancients prayed to Mars or Thor for strength, we look to these moments to find meaning, to connect with the courage that war demands and the sorrow it leaves behind. Even as we strive for peace, the war gods remind us of the reality that conflict is often an unavoidable part of the human experience. They are not just gods of violence, they are also gods of resilience, of standing firm in the face of overwhelming odds. Their stories are not just about fighting, they are about surviving, enduring, and sometimes finding a way to rebuild after the storm has passed. In the rubble of war-torn cities, in the eyes of refugees seeking a new home, we see the enduring spirit that these gods once inspired. It is the spirit that says, even in the darkest times, there is still hope, still a chance to rise from the ashes and begin anew. In a world that often feels divided, the gods of war also remind us of the power of unity. They fought not just for themselves, but for their people, their homes, and the ideals they held dear. This sense of collective purpose is something that resonates deeply, especially in times of conflict. It's the idea that, despite our differences, we are all part of something larger, something worth defending. The war gods were protectors of their realms, just as today's heroes protect the values and freedoms that define us. But perhaps the most enduring legacy of these war gods is the lesson that war, while sometimes necessary, is never without cost. They remind us that the true measure of a conflict is not found in the victory, but in the scars it leaves behind. The ancient myths are full of warriors who returned home, changed by what they had seen and done. They carry with them the weight of their experiences, just as those who have seen the horrors of modern war do. The gods of war teach us that while the battles may end, the echoes of conflict linger long after the last sword has been sheathed. In their stories, we find reflections of our own struggles, our own fears, and our own hopes for a world where conflict is not the answer. The gods of war remind us that peace is not simply the absence of war, but the presence of understanding, compassion, and a shared commitment to a better future. They are a part of us, as much as our own histories and experiences. Through their tales, we see the unbroken thread that connects us to the past, to the warriors who fought before us, and to the enduring quest for peace that lies at the heart of the human spirit.